Hello everyone and welcome to a very episode Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of Dan the Movie Man. So this is a very special episode of Dan the Movie Man. These are the first ever Dan the Movie Man movie awards. So with the Oscars coming up very soon, I just wanted to go ahead and do my version of my own Oscars. So I'm not going to do every category, but I'm only going to do a couple of them. But first, every Oscar night should start with a proper Oscar cocktail. This is the Oscar night smash. Very good. This has pear vodka, cranberry juice, and pineapple juice in it. It is very good. I highly recommend making it for your Oscar party. So onto the awards. So starting off with animated movie, I didn't really see much animated movies this year as I did many other movies. So here we go. The movies that I would nominate for animated movie are Wendell and Wild, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Turning Red, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That is what I think. That is what takes the Oscar for best animated movie. The Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It was very good. I don't know if I reviewed it or not, but I would give it a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Go ahead and watch it. The next category I want to go into is screenplay, because usually with the Oscars they do adapted and original. I'm only going to do 5 of the best screenplays I thought were really good this year, because let's face it, every great movie has a great and compelling story. So these are the 5 really good stories, 5 really great screenplays I thought this year. The Fabelmans, Pearl, Women Talking, Glass Onion, and The Banshees of Inisherin. Out of those 5, I would give my Oscar vote goes to The Fabelmans, simply because this is based off of Spielberg's childhood, and if you remember my review, I really liked The Fabelmans. I think I gave it a 10.5, and I still, to this day, I've watched it quite a few times. I really like it. All right, on to the next category. Best Supporting Actress. This is a really tough category because I saw 6. I mean, like, I'm only going to do 5 because that's the normal 5, but, screw it. I'm going to do 6. So these are the 6 supporting actress nominees I would nominate. Number 1, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. She was phenomenal in this movie. Everybody was great in this movie. I thought she did a particularly great job. Number 2, Amy Lou Wood in Living. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm a really big fan of the Netflix series Sex Education. I especially like Emma Mackey, but since she wasn't in a movie this year, I can't nominate her. So Amy Lou Wood in Living, she was amazing. She was amazing in this movie. I think she deserved to be nominated. Of course, I don't care about the other Oscars. I don't care about the normal Oscars. These are my Oscars. So I'm voting. So she gets a nomination in my book. 3 is Sadie Sink in The Whale. She was she is shown outside of Stranger Things that this girl can act. She can really act, and she can do it really well. So, I mean, in the normal Oscar nominations, they nominated Hong Chow instead of Sadie Sink. I think they both deserve to be nominated. I just think that Hong Chau's character was a much more likable character than she was. But she was amazing in this movie. She deserves to be nominated. 4 is Claire Foy in Women Talking. The acting in this movie is just damn right phenomenal. This whole cast was great. So, she was no exception. 4, Jessie Buckley, also from Women Talking. She was amazing in this movie as well. And the last person that I'm nominating is Carey Mulligan from She Said. This movie got no recognition from the Academy whatsoever. I don't know why, but but out of those ones that I've mentioned, I would give the Oscar to Kerry Condon. Moving on to Best Supporting Actor. If it were me, these were the people that I would nominate. I would nominate Brad Pitt from Babylon. Not many people like this movie, but I seem to be the Lone Ranger because I really, really liked Babylon. Despite what anybody else says, I don't care. I thought it was really good. The acting was really good. Brad Pitt was really good. Moving on to the other nominees. Judd Hirsch from The Fabelmans, even though he was in the movie for only 15 minutes, he was still very, very good. Also, I would nominate Paul Dano from The Fabelmans. He was amazing in this movie as his father. Moving on, Barry Keoghan from The Banshees of Inisherin. The acting in this movie was phenomenal. And finally, Brendan Gleeson in Banshees of Inisherin. This guy, I think this guy deserves the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. All right, moving on. Best Actress. All right, the people I would nominate are Elizabeth Banks from Call Jane. I honestly think that I am the only person that saw that movie when it was out. She gives an exceptional performance, probably the best of her entire career. I'm not surprised that this movie didn't get recognized anywhere because not many people saw it. I did. The movie was very good. She was a standout in this movie. So, all right, moving on. Margot Robbie for Babylon. She was incredible. Like I mentioned, I really liked this movie. She was very good. Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. She was the heart of this movie. She was the heart of this movie. And, if it wasn't for her, I don't think the movie would have been as good as it was without the acting. I mean, whenever you have Steven Spielberg direct a movie, the cast is just damn right phenomenal. And Danielle Deadwyler until she was incredible in this movie because it came down to me whenever I was doing my nominees. It came down to Danielle Deadwyler for Till or Viola Davis in The Women King. I think they both were very, very good. I just thought that Danielle Deadwyler was better. And Mia Goth for Pearl. This performance, I walked out of this theater, I was in awe of this performance. I thought to myself, she deserves the Oscar for this movie. And honestly, for whatever reason, the Academy doesn't give any love to horror films, which hopefully that changes because, this woman played this role to perfection. She is exceptional in this movie. If you haven't seen Pearl, go and watch it. I don't if you're not a horror fan, that's fine, but she deserves an Oscar because as far as I'm concerned, she didn't get recognized this entire award season at all, and I think she deserves one. So here, this is to you, Mia Goth for Pearl. Moving on to Best Actor, the people I would nominate for this category are Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick. This guy Like like every movie you see him, even in the Mission Impossible movies, he lays down his line for death-defying stunts, especially in Top Gun. You know, he is true. He is a really he is the definition of an action star. No offense to Vin Diesel, but I'd like to see Vin Diesel, you know, like train years on end, like to jump out of planes and hang on to planes and all the crazy, amazing stunts that he does in the Mission Impossible series and in Top Gun Maverick. So he gets a nomination in my book. Also Diego Calva for Babylon. This guy, I've never seen him in anything else. I saw him in Babylon. He was amazing in Babylon. So he gets a nomination in my book. Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin. He was phenomenal. This movie was phenomenal. There's really not much more to say. Bill Nighy in Living, you know, Bill Nighy was just as good as Amy Lee Wood was in this movie. And the last person I would nominate is Brendan Fraser in The Whale. Holy hell. I know I've said this before, and I'm sure I said it in my review. The emotion that came out of this performance is incredible. Like, within the first 10 or 15 minutes, I was crying and did not stop crying until the end of the movie. He gives such an emotional performance. I, honest to God, think that he should win the Oscar, and guess what? He gets my vote too. So Brendan Fraser, this is to you. So you get my vote you get my Oscar for Best Actor. Best Director this year, I am nominating Sarah Polley for Women Talking, Maria Schaefer for She Said, Ty West for both Pearl and X. I really liked them both. I thought he did a great job with both. So, you know what? Screw it. He's getting a nomination in my book for both the movies. Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, and Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin. Out of those directors, I would have to pick the great Steven Spielberg. You know, Martin McDonagh probably comes in. I would probably have to give him second place because he did a phenomenal job with The Banshees of Inisherin. But, you know, Spielberg, you know, to me in my head, you know, Spielberg did a phenomenal job with The Fabelmans. The Fabelmans was a very heartwarming movie. He was just like he's done in the past, phenomenal job with directing and writing The Fabelmans this year. All right, now on to the big one. Best Picture. So, if I'm going with what the Academy does, they do 10 nominees. So here we go. Here's the 10 movies I will nominate for Best Picture. Women Talking, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Top Gun Maverick, Babylon, Pearl, Glass Onion, She Said, Living, The Banshees of Inisherin, and The Fabelmans. This is a really, really tough category for me because, you know, because like in my head, you know, normally like I like to give a variety of movies. Like I also want to throw in a foreign film in there, but you know, I really didn't see that many foreign films this year. I saw All Quiet on the Western Front, which is nominated for Best Picture, and I saw Decision to Leave. Decision to Leave was very good, although I don't think it should be nominated for Best Picture. The only other one that I missed this year that I really, really wanted to see was the only other foreign film I really wanted to see this year was Close, which I missed out on. But so those are the movies I nominated. I think this year I'm gonna have to give it to The Fabelmans. You know, I don't really need to give an explanation, seeing as how I've been giving an explanation for it the whole night. So, you know, I truly think that this movie deserves to win Best Picture. I mean, it does in my book. So, you know, Spielberg, I've said this many times throughout this video, and I will keep saying it again. Spielberg is a phenomenal filmmaker. He directed my favorite film of all time, that being Saving Private Ryan. You know, this movie is truly an amazing movie. It's a really heartwarming movie. If you haven't seen it, rent it. You can rent it now. Rent it, rent it, rent it. All right. Um, those are my Oscar nominations. Those are my Oscars for this year. Um, I obviously like to see what you guys, if you guys, you know, feel differently. If you like, I want to hear. I want you guys to voice in the comments on what your favorite movie of the year was. So, all right. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.